So our window order is in.
Yes.
This guy spent like almost 2 full days down at Home Depot figuring everything out, but we got it all figured out. We should get our order in 5 weeks.
It'll arrive in about 5 weeks. They said they can hold it for about a week, maybe 2. But we're thinking that might line up perfectly when our framers are wrapping up.
Hopefully. And we're pretty excited. This is like our first big purchase for our home.
Yeah, and
I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of anxiety today, making sure.
it is not a paint color. It's not something that can just be painted over later. These are fixed.
These are our windows forever. And with the last minute kind of change on the grid system, I feel really good about it though.
Yeah, so let's just recap real quick on the windows, what we chose. So we went with the Andersen 100s, which is kind of their entry level that you can get a lot crazier with these things. So there are 4 different kinds of windows. The first is vinyl windows, and they've got quite the spectrum of kind of low end to high end, and we were looking at the low end. As we researched it further, we were looking at ply gems. Up higher, maybe you've got like Milgard's, it would be a brand. There's also like jeld-wen, but the downside of it is that it can kind of flex and crack and warp over time because at the end of the day it's plastic. And so we knew we didn't really want to go with that. On the high end, you've got wood, which will be like your most expensive and durable and everything, but it does still
so much more maintenance,
crack or rot. I mean, you're gonna have to repaint it however often. Exactly. I mean, if you stained and sealed it, you're gonna be resealing those things, so a lot of maintenance. And homes in general already take a lot of maintenance, and so we didn't want to add another thing to the list. And so then the 2 other options you're left with are fiberglass, and I think when everyone thinks of fiberglass, like I thought of the windows I grew up with, which were really kind of crappy. But like the old metal or even fiberglass windows, they've made a lot of improvements there. Now they're kind of known as like a premium thing. You'll see words like ultra something something something. So we kind of looked at those a little bit, but what felt right for us was a material called Fibrix. It's essentially a composite. So Andersen, and that is their registered trademark, but what they do is essentially as they mill their wooden windows and all of their vinyl products, they end up with shavings of both wood and vinyl, and they essentially mix those 2 together. And so the benefit of that is you can extrude it like you can a vinyl. In other words, like pull it out and shape it and turn it into a window frame. But the benefit is it's got all that wood mixed in with it, which makes it twice as durable.
Worlds.
You've got kind of almost a wooden look without having to maintain wood, and it's just super durable. The other thing that was like I was so pleased about is as we looked at all these vinyl windows, in the corner where the 2 like the side and the top would meet up, there'd be a weld, basically a plastic bead where those 2 were seamed together, whereas it was a real eyesore. And with I don't even know how Andersen does it, but basically they've got the seam, and I would almost call it seamless. Like you can barely even see that it's there. Yet really it's super durable. They say it's far stronger than the welded together vinyl. So
he knows so much about windows now. If you have
I learned more about windows than I ever thought.
Just message him, and he'll be happy to answer any window questions.
Put your questions in the comment section, and I will answer them for you. I know everything the guys at Home Depot know, at least that much.
So if you're wanting to go as cheap as possible, you can get the vinyl windows, white on white, which means that there's going to be white you see from the outside and white you see from the inside. The whole window is white. Or you can do, vinyl still does the 2 sides that are different colors, right? So you could do like black on the outside and white on the inside, but they have to dip it in like this stuff. So it's like something on top of the vinyl.
Coating.
So it can scratch off, and it probably wouldn't last super long. Or option 3, which is what we did, it's actually like the vinyl is that color. Is that what it is?
Yeah, the vinyl is that color. So it's like tinted that color, and you can get super dark colors, and then they just shape it. So they're not like painting it or trying to apply some type of color after the fact. That is the color of the material.
So our windows are actually black on the outside and white on the inside, and most of the rooms, except for our great room, has black windows on the inside as well, because that room is going to be white, and we thought it would just pop off and look really nice.
Yeah. So other things that'll keep your prices down is like not doing any type of grid system. Now we really wanted grids for that modern farmhouse look, but like you could go no grid and it would be uber modern.
Yeah.
There's kind of like this range, but we wanted some grids, and so as far as grids go, you could do just grids on the inside, which is
I think
probably the easiest and like the least kind of notch up from not having grids. And the benefit to that is that cleaning your windows is
when he
super
says inside,
easy.
he means like literally inside the glass.
So between the 2 panes of glass is actually kind of your grid pattern, whatever grid you choose. Now, the more squares, the more linear feet of grids you have, no matter how you do them, that really adds up on the cost. So we actually were able to reduce our costs when you saw earlier in the video where we went from like 6 rectangles per window down to 4. That greatly reduced our costs. And we were doing it more for the aesthetic and the look, but we were pleasantly surprised when the pricing came back and it had actually decreased the price for us. But so what we're doing is we've got basically a grid on the outside, a grid in the middle, and a grid on the outside. So exterior, in between the 2 panes, and interior, we've got grid. And that gives it that almost wooden type feel with individual panes.
And the reason you want to do it that way is because if you only have them on the 2 outsides, when you're looking through the window, because it's 2 different pieces of glass, you can actually see through the window and see the grid on the outside, so it doesn't look as cohesive. It looks like gappy and spacey. So
yep. But it is an option, and it's more affordable than getting them to line up all 3 grids together. And then the other option that we almost went with, but you know, seeing windows in person in a home, we're like, no, we want the grids on the inside as well. But the other option is called fine light, and that's where you do have it on the outside of the glass in your exterior, and then in the interior it's smooth, and you have a grid in the middle. And so that makes it really easy to wipe down inside. Now, what the conclusion we came to, and I hope this hypothesis is right.
The conclusion he came to
is that we decided to put grids just in the top half of our windows. As we looked at the height of where windows were being set, and we know we're gonna get a lot of fingerprints, and we're like, man, having all these individual sections you have to clean, how bad is that gonna be? Like, is it worth capturing the look we want?
So many corners.
And we decided, yes, it is, because we're not doing grids on the bottom where all of our children's hands can reach. So we feel like we're safe. We'll see, time will tell, but that's what we went with.
So we're pretty excited. In 5 weeks, we will have windows and hopefully a house to hang them in. Make sure you tune in on Monday for our webisode. We're gonna be showing you how to make pinhole sun viewers. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. We were joking earlier, hashtag ViewTubes for YouTubes.
But we're gonna make those. We're gonna do a little tutorial on how to make them because there's an eclipse, if you don't know, coming up the following Monday, and then you'll be ready to watch it with your family. And until next time, keep dreaming.
I'm not. Oh, it's recording. Did you hit record?
You hit record before you walked away.
Oh, that's
like you didn't
know.
No,
I really didn't.
Please.
I really didn't know. I really didn't know.
Please.
I'm serious.
You knew.
No, I didn't. I'm not even kidding.
Don't let him get you.
I would have done way more if I knew I was recording.
Better? Good.
Yeah.
Yep.